Hello, everybody, and welcome to another great episode of the Gridiron Glory here with Tad and Will. We're here to bring you extensive, all inclusive coverage of all 32 teams in the league. And we're here to bring to you Bills fans. We know that, it's going to be a brutal offseason, but we're here to recap your guys' season and how the season went, give you a little bit of an off-season preview, given that you're one of the final four teams in the NFL. And yeah, Tad, in our preseason, as we cover all 32 teams, we were going through the Buffalo Bills, and specifically remember even just talking about their schedule, right? When we were previewing their schedule and previewing their roster, we were talking about specifically their schedule and how it was probably the toughest schedule in the NFL. They managed to go 13-4, finish first place in the AFC East. Obviously, Tad, what was the biggest thing we said all season, right? And even into the preseason, what was the
What can they
big
do to beat that
only?
team?
What was the only question for this Bills franchise? There was
Yeah,
one
I mean,
question and one
it's
question.
it's been what can they do to beat that team? That one
The
team,
Kansas City,
the Kansas
yeah,
City Chiefs. How do they get by that team in the playoffs? They solve it in the regular season, but when push comes to shove, when you have to make a play in the playoffs, it didn't happen again.
and yeah, Josh Allen. I mean, easily the greatest quarterback in the NFL right now. And I 100% respect him for being so brave and taking on that guy that everybody knows, Tad.
Patrick Mahomes, he means.
Yeah, Tad. I look, Josh Allen is just to me, sir. If you were to ask me after now, really the postseason and preview into the Super Bowl has concluded, if you were asking me to rank the quarterbacks in the NFL, to me, Josh Allen's number one.
Yeah, I mean, based on the play this season, you could easily rank Josh Allen number one. You could argue to put Lamar Jackson at number one, but I mean, considering who beat who in the playoffs, it's completely
Exactly.
fair to
That's
put
what I was thinking there myself.
completely fair to put um Josh Allen first. I think like statistically, I think Lamar Jackson had a better season than Josh Allen. Sorry, Bills fans, but Josh Allen, he'd be a very deserving MVP if he does win it.
Yeah, Tad, we're looking at the Buffalo Bills roster, and yeah, Tad, just looking like I said, they had some very notable wins. You mentioned that win against the Chiefs. Obviously, you got Josh Allen, you got Mitchell Trubisky, the backup quarterbacks, and yeah, Tad, I'd like to humbly, genuinely, sincerely, and truly ask you, yes, where would you rank Mitchell Trubisky amongst backup quarterbacks in the league?
Well, let's just say if Josh Allen goes down and Mitchell Trubisky has to be the man to lead this football team, let's just say it would not be a good situation for the Buffalo Bills. I mean, they gotta hope that they can keep Josh Allen healthy.
Yep. Basically, yep. You got James Cook, Khalil Shakir, Amari looked at like they got some really solid pieces on the offense. They got some really solid pieces on the defense. I would like to get your quick take on the season out of AJ Epinesa, the defensive end.
Yeah, Epi was solid. He had a solid year. He goes out there, he creates big disruptions on the line. He's always gonna go out and give it his all. He's 6 sacks this year. Probably want to see that go up a bit, but and you want to see more out of him in the playoffs. I mean, he had a rough game against a very good offensive line with the Chiefs, but overall, he's a playmaker. Had a solid game against Baltimore in the divisional round, but I mean that's a player you can help. That's a quality piece on defense. I mean, a very strong defense, like you said.
Yeah, without a doubt, Tad, Terrell Bernard, even Demar. Yeah, Tad, I would like to personally get your take on the season that Damar Hamlin had, given his story.
Yeah, I mean, a breakout season for DeMar Hamlin in many ways. Obviously we know the stories, we know the significance behind what's been going down with him. But to craft a role on this defense, just incredible. His first two career interceptions, obviously you love to see that. So he's still a fairly young player. I mean, a 2021 sixth round pick. He'll be going into his fifth year, so he still has a long ways to grow. He can still grow, I mean. So yeah, very quality going there by Buffalo as this defense continues to grow. My big question when I look at the Bills roster is are they going to make any moves to get like a bona fide wide receiver one?
Yeah, what can you do to get like a wide receiver one? What can you do? I mean, obviously James Cook, but I mean, outside of that, maybe the running back room. I mean, Ray Davis, Ty Johnson. I mean, Frank Gore. It's like maybe get some support for James Cook there.
Yeah, I mean that's an option. I think you need to upgrade your receiver room. I think that's if I'm looking at upgrading the offense, I'd want to look at the receiver room, see if you can get growth there. Keon Coleman,
Really loving the
obviously the
tight end
rookie
room
there.
though.
Yeah. Yeah, the tight end room. Obviously, Dalton Kincaid wishes he had that playback in the playoffs, but overall a very strong tight end room. Just a lot of guys that like to do work. Reggie Gilliam, their fullback, even does some solid work.
And obviously the offensive line. A very solid offensive line.
Yeah, maybe they could go for a few upgrades there, but yeah, their offensive line is fairly solid for sure.
Uh, let's see. Um, Only 5 sacks allowed in the postseason for this offensive line, Tad. In the regular season, Josh Allen was only sacked 14 times through 17 games played. I would say that was a phenomenal job by this Bills offensive line this year.
Yeah,
And what we know about offensive lines overall, my personal rankings is I would rank this a top 10 offensive line in the league.
probably fair. Yeah, top 10 seems
I mean,
fair.
you say Detroit still has the best offensive line, and with Panay Sewell there, and well, I
Mhm.
mean, you could argue San Francisco when Trent Williams is healthy in the top 2 or 3, but I would say this Bills offensive line is a top 10 O line.
Yeah, hard to argue with that. They seem
I mean,
fairly
14
solid.
sacks through 17 games. That's pretty good. It's very solid there.
That's pretty elite. Yeah, they had a good year for sure.
And I mean,
So
not only that, but you look at the rushing yards for like the fact that Josh Allen was able to rush for 531 yards and that James Cook was able to rush for over 1,000 yards. Ray Davis even over 442 yards. Ty Johnson. So, just even some incredible run efficiency. 16 touchdowns from James Cook, 12 from Josh Allen. Tad, this is, I mean, an incredible offensive line. Only 2 fumbles. Josh Allen only threw 6 interceptions. I mean, really looking at it, I mean, this is an elite offensive line in the league.
yeah, yeah,
So, an elite team, too, based on what I just said. But
yeah. I mean, obviously, we know things didn't end the way they wanted it to once again, but they had. This is a very strong football team. You could argue this is like a team that they've had one of the most consistent football teams in the league for the past several years. I mean, the success in the postseason, it is what it is, but this is a scary good football team, and if they can keep the whole squad together again, they'll have a chance to make another run.
well, it's like, do you stop trying or do you keep trying? It's just like like it's almost like a mental thing at this point, to where it's like
For sure.
you're gonna have to go a whole another year with that mental thing in your mind of can we beat them again or can we beat them?
I mean, the only way to get past the mental hurdle is to actually go do it. I mean, they just have to do it. I think it's really just that simple. Just go out on the field. I mean, you've shown that you can be a better team than them. You've beaten that team but just can you do it in the when the lights are bright?
That's what it's going to come down to, and we're going to have to wait basically a whole nother year to see it. So just, I mean, like, what do you need to do? Like, does Josh Allen need to like work with like a special trainer? Does he need to like, I mean, I would see videos of like Tom Brady, like, going to the beach and like working on throwing drills and stuff. Does like Josh Allen need to like do something like that? I don't know. It's just, you know, and you feel for Josh Allen because he's such an
Yeah,
incredible leader, right, Tad? But yet,
for
as a
sure.
leader, he probably feels like he's failed his team time and time again, which I don't personally feel like he's failed his team. It's
No,
just,
definitely not.
he has run into what you could say is some circumstances that are beyond his control.
And I mean, this is clearly it's not a Josh Allen problem. I mean, the Bills don't have a Josh Allen problem.
Perhaps the
That's really out
defense,
there.
maybe
It's
perhaps
just
upgrade the defense because of
it's
this.
just like the entire roster. They just need to make the play when it matters the most. I mean, the plays are there. You just got to go make it.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. So,
Can you make the throw? Can you make that block? Can you make the catch? Big tackle, make the big field goal. Can you make the play? I mean, it comes down to the entire roster. Can you make the play when it matters?
right, right, absolutely. Yeah, and what do we know about their draft output coming up?
They will have the third to last pick in the draft, 30th in the first round. So it's they're gonna be drafting late in the round unless they move up in the draft with a trade.
Awesome. So, yeah, Tad, very unfortunate for the Buffalo Bills, but just, know that you had an incredible season. And Tad, you really feel for this franchise and you feel for their fan base. I mean, you'll mention the four straight Super Bowl losses at one point in their franchise history. It's like they're just a franchise that has gotten so close. So many, Tad, in a way, Tad, they're in a way kind of like your Vikings, but the AFC version.
I mean, the thing with the Bills is they've been good enough to win a Super Bowl for basically the entire like 2020s. I mean, this is a roster that is Super Bowl talented. I mean, they've done everything right. They built their roster the right way. They've
Well,
had their
clearly not
superstar
everything.
quarterback. I mean, but here they are.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. There you have it. So, Buffalo Bills season recap, off-season preview. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow. Super Bowl preview, Super Bowl recap coming up. And next season, we'll bring you preseason coverage of your very own Buffalo Bills right here coming up probably in September. So stay tuned on the Gridiron Glory.